Hello, everybody. So, what a few days has been. Apologies for the sore throat. I've been talking too much the last few days, and my throat's gone. So, it's been a very turbulent few days. I don't think anybody expected this. Even though Fianna Fáil Fine Gael's vote is down to what it usually was, they have only about 40% between them. Back in the day, they used to have 70%, so long past the days of glory for Fianna Fáil Fine Gael. It's only about 40 or under 40 at this stage. And not as many people voted for them as they did in 2022. So you have to remember all this too. So it does look like, again, it depends. I do think they will need some independence to go in with Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. I don't think they'll have the numbers themselves to have a coalition government. That we need 88 or 87 seats in Dáil Éireann between the two parties. I don't think they will get that. If they got a few independents, I think that's what's going to happen. So either that or the Labour Party or Social Democrats, something like that. We'll wait and see. But it's obvious. One thing's very obvious, and in Cavan, the Border County Sinn Féin done well. They've done very well. We talk about in Cavan, nothing said and done yet. Cavan only started to the first count there an hour ago, 12 o'clock the next day. But yeah, long story short, we see what happens in Cavan. We don't know yet. There's been a few people eliminated. That's pretty much the only thing in Cavan at the moment. We get into the whole nits and grits about Cavan and Monaghan soon. We'll talk about it all. Because it's really shocking, I suppose, in view sets is what's happening there. But let's put it this way, nationally, it's very shocking too that people voted the same old. It's shocking, and particularly the elderly vote, as I said, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, particularly over 65. It's very shocking because they all voted Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael, whichever one. Basically, over 65 and people in that age all voted for Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil. And majority of people, 24 to 34, voted for Sinn Féin, and then upwards from 34 to 39 or so voted for Sinn Féin. So young people voted for Sinn Féin, the older people voted for Fine Gael. There's obviously the population is an elderly population in this country. Really, it's not a young population because the majority of young people have left the country, and they'll be leaving on their droves now in the next few years, of course. Because again, this result is pretty much the same old. It's pretty much giving Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, keep doing what you're doing. Keep the homeless numbers going up, keep everything going up, the hospital waiting lists. Keep it going. Basically, the electorate, the people involved, and basically the Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Well, it's okay. You're doing a great job. And so nothing ever changed, unfortunately. Nothing in terms of housing or anything. It'd be just the same old, pretty much. The same old for the next 5 years, unfortunately. Unless they really get their act together, but I don't think so. But it's shocking to see too Sinn Féin has lost so much support. Just going by 2020, they're down about -5 support or so in their votes. Which sounds minor, but they had more votes in 2020. Take for example in Cavan, just before I go any further, but take for example in Cavan, Pauline Tully and Matt Carty. Matt Carty's going to top the poll here at the moment. That's guaranteed, pretty much. But take for example Matt Carty and Pauline Tully. They overwhelmingly got elected the last election. They had hundreds and hundreds of votes left over. And I think Matt Carty had nearly 4,000 votes left over the quota to distribute it to other candidates. And Pauline Tully had about 2,000. So they basically had 6,000 nearly votes over the quota to give to other candidates. They had nobody else in Sinn Féin. This time they have 3 candidates. But basically, this time this didn't happen in Cavan. Matt Carty didn't reach on the first count. He's still missing about 1,000 votes to get in the 10,000 mark. He says about 9,000 something. He still needs about 1,000 votes to get in. In the last election, they overwhelmingly got in. Matt Carty didn't have to bother, or even Pauline Tully didn't have to worry about getting in because they got in the first count. And that's really shocking. So Sinn Féin doesn't have to. They got done well in Cavan. They probably will get 3 candidates. We don't know yet, as I say. But just take, for example, you can see the vote has dropped because if that was in 2020, they would be all in, pretty much, what I'm trying to say. Because the transfers from the two, Pauline Tully and Matt Carty, would take Cathy Bowie over the line. But, it's different. You can see the vote drop, but it is still substantial. And across the whole country, there's substantial. We've seen Mary Lou McDonald's constituency too. Mary Lou McDonald got in the 3rd count. Usually she would get in the 4th count, so it just shows that the votes are not there at the moment for Sinn Féin. Like the votes that were there before, like to get a win straight away, wasn't there this time. Like many other examples of it across the country, Sinn Féin, they're missing a few votes here and there. Like you can see that people, a lot of people didn't really trust them. But I do think what happened really, like we'll talk about it all. There's hundreds more things we could talk about in each thing. But I do think what happened is Fianna Fáil particularly is going to be probably the largest party. It seems to be. It seems to be Fianna Fáil, which is shocking. It is very shocking to hear that. But Micheál Martin will probably be the Taoiseach. He'll be the leader because whoever has the largest seats will be the Taoiseach. Pretty much whatever's the largest party will be the Taoiseach, and the largest number of seats, etc., will be the Taoiseach. So it looks like it'll be Micheál Martin again. Great, lovely. But it is quite shocking. It is quite shocking to see. I don't really know what to say to you, but just even looking at Fianna Fáil, they've long past the day. They got more votes in 2020 nearly than they did now. But, you know, as I said, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael combined years ago used to have a huge amount of votes. Now it's barely 40 or under 40 between the two of them. So the vote's not there. And not to mention too, just there's 100 more things we could mention. We'll probably get into all the gritty details, but just giving you the kind of update of what I see at the moment. But there's a lot of people that didn't turn up to vote, and people just didn't bother to vote. And to be totally honest, I think a lot of people are sick and tired of it. And this brings me on to the next point. This is the main point, I suppose, for me. And I'll probably talk about it a lot coming over the next few months. Is a lot of young people particularly will be getting on the boat and the plane and never coming back now, to be totally honest, because it's pretty much the same old. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, you'll never be able to own a house. It's pretty much set in stone now that's the generation we're given, the young generation that's growing up. That's pretty much the next 5 years, never be able to own anything. To be totally honest, the only solution is only take it and go. That's to be totally honest for young people, and that's really what a lot of people are saying at the moment. And not even that, there's so many young people who voted in the first time in the election, and even though they could have voted for Sinn Féin, at the end of the day, a lot of them feel very disheartened that, you know, people wanted change, didn't want the same old. And unfortunately, a lot of people did vote for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. We can't deny that. A lot of people did. But a lot of young people, particularly the older people, more voted the same way Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael as they were brought up to, where they voted just Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. But young people particularly wanted change and they wanted Sinn Féin, and you know, we have to understand that too, because the people who's affected is not the elderly people in society, it's more the younger people, and that's really what's going to affect, because they're struggling. Years ago, it was feasible to get a house, to buy a house. It was feasible. You could do it. It was possible. Nowadays, it's impossible. You could have bought a house for 50,000 years ago. About in the 70s, you could have bought 50,000 in Cavan. That's what it was. It was about 50,000, 60,000, something like that. Reasonable enough. Nowadays, it's 200 and nearly 300,000 euro. So long are the days from that. So, you know, it was doable. That's what I'm trying to say. It was doable. Things were doable years ago. It could be achieved. Nowadays, it's impossible to achieve, especially with all the taxes, etc., etc. It's really just impossible to achieve getting a home or anything like that for young people. But yeah, as I say, a lot of people be disheartened. So in the next election, the numbers are going to be 5 times as low, to be totally honest, 20 times as low, because nobody's going. First of all, the young people be left the country, not coming to vote. Not even that. Any people who voted this time, I know some older people I know that voted, they're kind of sick of it because they voted for other people too, more you know, independents, etc., etc. They're kind of sick of it because again, it's the same old. And I think everybody's just disheartened and fucking sick of the whole fucking lot of it, to be totally fucking honest with you. And I wouldn't blame you, to be totally honest, because it's just the same old. So it pretty much was set to stab in the election, to be totally honest, in the nicest possible terms. The only consolation is the Green Party were set back to the Stone Age. They can go back to the Flintstone Age. So we'll see what happens there, but apparently the whole Green Party's gone, which is not much loss. Eamon Ryan, that's why Eamon Ryan went away. Well, slept away more or less, but anyway. We'll talk to you later. That's what we have at the moment. We see the whole results are not in yet, but just as over. We can go into all the details, but everything else, like there's 100 more things I could say. I'm kind of going to west me throat for a while because you can kind of hear it, that I am struggling to speak, and it's very bad to speak. To be totally honest, because I'm struggling to speak because of all the annoyance last night of it. But anyway, thank you, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye.